ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sleeper Hold, where there are no disqualifications on the topics and falls count anywhere. Joining us, as always, is the Kluganator.
Hello.
And of course, Eric, one of our newer members on the show.
What up?
And Priest couldn't be here this evening, so sitting in the host spot tonight will be the analyst, Robert Leach, of course. And of course, Zombie not here tonight either, going through some things that he has to deal with for now. But he should be with us back pretty soon, hopefully. So anyway, tonight, talking about the Sleeper Hold, it's going to be a lot of fun. This week, of course, as always, we had Raw, which it was a pretty good show. A whole lot of crap went down.
Yeah. I'm actually going to step outside for a second.
Is that right?
Yeah. You guys continue?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to act like Pickett here for a minute since I'm kind of taking over the Pickett role here.
Okay, well, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened on Raw this week. I've been so busy this week.
Well, we seen the match with Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley.
That's right, Bobby Lashley beat the hell out of Kevin Owens.
Yes, he did, and
Got the victory and then went back for more.
just basically destroyed Kevin Owens. What I'm hearing, put him out for a bit.
Put him out. They originally thought it was supposed to be about 2 to 3 months, but now they're talking more like 4 to 8.
Yeah, it's looking like he may miss WrestleMania this year.
That's right. I mean, at the latest, he should be coming back around June. But also, what else did we see?
Well, seen the Bella Twins turn on Ronda Rousey.
That's right. We saw the Bella Twins beat the hell out of Ronda Rousey. I mean, maybe in preparation for Evolution.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with the.
Definitely. I mean, because you gotta wonder: is it gonna be 1-on-1? Is it gonna be 2-on-1? Is it gonna be 2-on-2?
Here's the thing, though, with the Bella Twins, they are twins, so you never know which one you could be facing. They could, dress alike, and mid-match, boom, twin magic.
That's right, definitely. I mean, anything could happen. They could switch out really easily. But then also we saw the Battle Royal to determine who's going into the World Cup qualifier Battle Royal. Easy for me to say. Where we saw Baron Corbin introduce 7 or 8 gentlemen that nobody knew.
Nope.
And himself.
One I knew, I was kind of excited to see Conquistador. I just was wondering if it was Conquistador Uno or Dos.
That was the question. Also, I thought it was really cool to see CJ Esparza, a local wrestler, here on the scene in that Battle Royal. But it ended up being the Conquistador pulled off the upset, so we thought, until he unmasked, and it was Kurt Angle.
Yeah, I've always liked Kurt Angle, so I'm glad to see him back.
I love Kurt Angle. I'm glad to have him back as well. He's just always a cool guy to see wrestle and to hear what he has to say as well. I thought Coogie was back for a minute there. Anyway, so next up we saw Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre knock off the Shield. And very impressive as it was, I was surprised to see Dean Ambrose roll out of the ring and just walk straight to the back.
I as much as I like the Shield as a unit, I really hope Ambrose is actually getting away from the Shield, and hope he gets to do a lot of good things, because he is a heck of a talent.
Definitely, because I've seen Ambrose. I've been saying it for a while now. I've been thinking Ambrose was going to turn on the Shield. I thought it was going to happen way back at SummerSlam when he first came back. But now it seems like it's finally being worked into into Raw's storylines and such as to what's going down. But anyway, then we also had SmackDown, which, I mean, SmackDown was a pretty good show as well. I was able to catch it. We saw Aiden English reveal the rest of that video about Rusev and Lana.
what I liked about SmackDown is that it actually started with a match. You didn't, get the normal start with like you would with Monday Night Raw, where you get a 5 or 6 minute discussion.
Yeah,
This one, he actually started off with Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
definitely. And it was a great match. It really was. I mean, it ended. The whole thing ended when Charlotte speared Becky through the entranceway.
Which I was excited to see, because normally you only see the guys doing that, so it's cool to see the women get a chance to go a little hardcore.
Yeah, you don't normally see the women do something as hardcore as that, such as going through the set or a table or something.
Right.
Also, we had a couple World Cup qualifiers. We saw Jeff Hardy beat Samoa Joe.
As much as I'd like to say I'm surprised, I was kind of wanting Samoa Joe.
It would have definitely been great to see Samoa Joe go on, because Samoa Joe has been everywhere.
Yeah, and he just had a great series of matches against AJ Styles for the heavyweight title.
Definitely. I mean, it was by referee stoppage, too. I mean, Samoa Joe couldn't go on. His knee was completely blown out.
Right, and as tough a guy as Samoa Joe is, to make him quit, that's saying something.
Definitely. And I wouldn't say he quit more than the referee just looked at him and said, "This is not okay," and rang the bell.
Right. So maybe that decision was out of Joe's hands.
Yeah, and then we saw Randy Orton beat the returning Big Show.
That one actually surprised me. I figured, the Big Show, he's big, and you figured he'd get the win on Randy Orton. But Randy Orton is the Viper, and he can pull that RKO out of nowhere.
Definitely, and he definitely did pull it out of nowhere. But then, like I said, oh Lord, I'm drawing a blank now as to what I just said. Oh, Aiden English with the video said, "All right, I'm going to show you the rest of the video," and stopped it right when Aiden English went to make a move on Lana, and made everyone think Lana was going to be like, "Oh yes, I'm going to kiss Aiden English." Rusev and Lana came out and said, "We hacked you. Here's the real video." Lana pushed Aiden off and just kind of rushed out. Said, "I can't have this."
Wow.
But I mean, it was Aiden English got himself into a whole bunch of trouble, and Rusev finally got his hands on him. I can see a match working up in the books in the future. Basically, is there anything else you'd like to add?
We also this weekend had the Super Showdown in
Right.
Australia.
I can't believe I let that slip my mind. Super Showdown. It was a lot of fun, definitely. I mean, I woke up at about 6:30 in the morning and kind of just turned it on about 6:45.
See, I had you by an hour. I was up at 5.
Hey, I mean, it would have been nice to see the whole thing live as it happened.
Right.
But the idea didn't seem as nice considering it started at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, me personally, I'm kind of used to getting up there early for shows, because normally, I'm a big New Japan fan, so I'm used to getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for a show.
Definitely. And I mean, it's... Oh, wait a second. Anyway, so basically, we had... Good Lord.
Good one there.
Anyway, so basically, what happened, we had 10 matches at Super Showdown. We'll run through them real fast. The New Day beat the Bar to retain the tag titles, which I'd like to see the Bar win the titles eventually.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, New Day really hasn't really had the titles that long. I'd like to see them go a little further than, give the Bar a good run with them.
Yeah. Also, Becky Lynch, I believe, well, she kept her title after Charlotte won with the disqualification. That happened when, what happened here? Oh, yes, Lynch grabbed her title and just started whipping Charlotte with it while she was caught in the figure 8. Next, we saw John Cena's big return. I think this is his first televised match since WrestleMania.
Now, anybody that knows me knows I'm not a John Cena fan, but I actually kind of felt sorry for John Cena I mean, as good as the match was, everybody was more interested in his hair and making the memes of
Definitely.
him looking like Ned Flanders. So in that sense, and we also got to see for the first time on the network the sixth move of Doom.
The sixth move of Doom, the lightning fist, as he calls it. I forgot how he says it in, I believe, Mandarin. But it's the lightning fist, and he just kind of punches him.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of disappointing,
A
but
flashy punch.
yes. But John Cena, I like to think he really looked like JBL with that hair.
Oh wow! Now that you say that, I can't unsee it now.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we had Cena. He teamed up with Lashley to be Elias and Kevin Owens, and that led into Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens on Raw, where Kevin Owens was sent out of action. But anyway, so next up we saw the WWE title. We saw AJ beat Samoa Joe by submission. Samoa Joe tapped out to AJ Styles, and I was surprised.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised too, because Joe's a tough man. I think it had the ref not stopped the match, he probably would have tried to make a comeback.
Oh yeah, definitely. You saw him still trying to get back up on his feet even after the bell rang.
Yep.
On SmackDown. But anyway, so next up, Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins beat the Riot Squad by submission. Ronda Rousey, the double arm bars.
Yeah, not just one arm bar.
Two at the same time. And then also we had Cruiserweight title. Hometown hero Buddy Murphy beat Cedric Alexander to win the title.
That result actually surprised me, because if you go to a lot of house shows, which is what this basically was a glorified house show.
Yeah.
The hometown guy never gets the win, and to see him get what I think would have been his second title, because in NXT, him and Wesley Blake had a nice long run with the NXT tag titles with Alexa Bliss as their manager.
Yep.
So to see him actually win his first singles title was pretty good. I think he'll make a great cruiserweight champion.
Definitely, and it's well deserved too. I mean, he was great in that match. He really was.
He was on. It was definitely his match to win.
Definitely. Also, we saw the Shield beat Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre, which, 6-man tag.
Right.
That was fun, I guess. And then in just over 2 minutes, Daniel Bryan beat The Miz to become the #1 contender to the WWE title.
And as they announced, Daniel Bryan he's going to be getting his title opportunity at Crown Jewel.
Definitely. And I mean, it's kind of funny to think about. The Miz beats Daniel Bryan after he cheats so much, and Daniel Bryan wins off of a kind of a sloppy small package. Anyway, then we had the main event. Triple H, who was accompanied by Shawn Michaels, defeated The Undertaker. I kind of saw it coming.
The only thing I didn't see coming was after the match. I didn't see that coming, but without that match, we wouldn't be getting the match that we're getting at Crown Jewel.
Definitely. I kind of saw the post-match actions happening. I just didn't see it being Undertaker and Kane on the attack.
You figured it would have been
Figured it would have been Generation X. But anyway, so the Brothers of Destruction beat the hell out of DX. Put Shawn Michaels through a table. And they were in agony. But now coming up at Crown Jewel, we've got D-Generation X versus the Brothers of Destruction.
And, if I was a betting man, I'd have to put my money on the Brothers of Destruction for that one.
Me too. I think the Brothers of Destruction, as a cohesive unit, it might be unstoppable.
I'd have to agree with you on that.
But anyway, that's really all that happened this week on Raw, SmackDown, and Super Showdown. Was there anything in New Japan that kind of interested you?
Well, thank you for asking about that. Monday morning at 3 a.m. Gotta love those international time zones. New Japan had their King of Pro Wrestling show. Go over a couple of matches here. The show opened up with an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match, which saw Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger, which, if you know wrestling, Liger is a pretty well-known name. They took on the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions of El Desperado and Kanemaru, and Desperado and Kanemaru got the win. Let's see here. The third match was an 8-man tag, which kind of continued this civil war going on within the Bullet Club. You saw the Chase Owens, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks taking on Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori, the Gorillas of Destiny, which is Tamatonga and Tongaloa, and the Underboss Bad Luck Fale. BCOGs picked up the win there.
Of course.
Let's see here. Match number 6. I bring this one up because of the significance of this match. This match was supposed to be Evil, which is representing Los Ingobernales de Japón, taking on Zack Sabre Jr., which is a representative from Suzuki-gun. Well, this match never happened because in Evil's entrance, he was carried to the ring on a throne, and just to see one of the guys carrying the throne assaulted Evil before the match even got started.
Really?
I mean, just threw a beat down, worse than the one that you seen Monday night with Bobby Lashley and Kevin Owens.
Wow.
It was revealed that the attacker was none other than the current reigning IWGP Intercontinental Champion,
What did I miss, guys?
Y2J Chris Jericho.
Oh, wow.
We went over what happened on Raw, what happened on SmackDown, and Super Showdown. And we're just getting into the New Japan.
Okay.
portion.
Well, I've just been notified by PWA officials that our next Hall of Famer is actually on their way here.
On the way here.
Yes.
The new Hall of Famer's on
Yeah.
the way here.
Yes.
On their
This
way.
one has not even been announced yet. It's actually going to be revealed on our show today.
I've heard rumblings. I mean,
I heard a few rumblings myself.
I can't exactly put my finger on exactly who it is, but I can't wait to see who it is.
Right.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So, like I said, they'll be here momentarily. So,
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that because
I guess we'll find out when our viewers find out.
they'll find out when we find out.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm almost speechless because I can't exactly think of who it might be.
I have a few thoughts as to who I'd like to see it be, but I'll just wait to be surprised.
Definitely. I mean, I saw Michael Shard. He
well,
was
Michael
inducted.
Shard's already been
He's
announced, so we know it's not going to be him.
been
But
announced.
I think somebody's.
He's being
What are you doing here?
hold.
Crashing
Oh.
parties. Oh, hey, Robbie.
Hey,
Uh-huh.
hold.
You want me to sit right here?
You can.
Well, everybody,
Hey,
joining us tonight,
Larson.
the one and only Tom Arson.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
So, if what I was just told is true, then you are the next person being entered into the PWA Hall of Fame,
That's the story I hear too.
along with Michael Shard.
Yeah. Yeah, us old guys.
You old guys.
You all right, man?
I think he's a little apprehensive about you being here after what happened at the last Springfield show.
I don't. What happened? I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know. You put me on the sidelines from ring announcing for a week or two. It was a good old headbutt.
You got in the way, right?
I got in the way. I
Yeah.
was trying to protect the well-being of our superstars, but
But lesson was learned, correct?
yeah, lesson was learned.
I think so. I think a lot of other people learned it too. You learned it for him.
Well, better be a member of the staff and not a member of the audience.
That's definitely true. That doesn't stop me either. So what are you guys up to tonight?
Oh, the usual, recapping what's happened in the last week in wrestling.
Yeah.
They told me they had already gotten through Raw and SmackDown before I came back in here. I went outside to take that phone call from PWA that said that they were sending their next Hall of Famer over here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Sorry I'm late. I got a little lost.
It is a hard place to find. It's
but I mean, it's great to have you.
Thanks. It's great to be here, Robbie. It's great to be here.
Oh yes. Well, while we're at it, why don't we recap PWA?
why don't we?
Of course, we had One Shall Fall a couple of weeks ago, and Rumble in the Park and Beardstown Beatdown.
Yeah,
High
that was a
voltage.
busy weekend.
That
Very
was
busy.
very busy.
Show in Athens, immediately followed by a show in Beardstown.
Definitely within about 5 hours of each other.
Yeah, people said it was going to be hard to pull off. And
We did it.
we did it.
Okay, you guys did.
But so like One Shall Fall, bigger thing. Lander beat Moss to retain the regional heavyweight title. Moss was visited by
Our guest here.
our guest here. And as I tried to protect Moss's well-being and protect Moss from being put on the shelf,
So you see right there, you're saying you got in the way.
I was simply
You
trying
just
to
kind of admitted it
protect the
there.
well-being. I never said I didn't get in the way. I just was trying to protect Moss.
I see.
Then of course we had Lander couldn't make it to Jacksonville, so KC beat Hatta off the interference from Cardini. Nightmare on 8th Street fight was announced.
Yes, that was. It's going to be a hell of a match.
We'll get there, trust me. The week after, Athens, Lander said, well, not quite medically cleared, only medically cleared for one match, and they said I have to take it easy for this one. So Lander brought out Jimmy Carrot to face KC.
I thought that was kind of interesting that he did not wrestle in Athens, but he did in Beardstown.
That's what I was kind of wondering. Something was off about that one, definitely. But then in Beardstown,
Do we think he's actually ducking Casey?
I don't know. I mean, he might be.
You gotta imagine that Lander beat KC kind of as an underdog.
Well, of course.
Now, do we think Lander's the type of guy who duck KC? I personally do, but KC was a long-running champion.
Right. We're just
He's
going
dangerous.
off of how the events unfolded.
Sure.
Definitely. But anyway, so I had to leave Athens early, actually, to go make sure Beardstown was starting on time. What was the result of KC and Carrot?
Let's say, oh man, I don't even remember.
I
That shows you how bad.
KC's beat Carrot so many times, right?
Remember the
Yeah,
kids?
that's right. Because the kids were following KC all the way back up the entryway, telling him how he sucked. And
And I believe they also followed him to his vehicle to completely tell him how
Yeah.
much he sucked.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, that's generating some heat there.
Yeah.
I heard
Good
about
on
that
him.
one. But anyway, so then 5 hours later in Beardstown, Lander beat Victor Analog to retain the title. Victor Analog finally got his shot that he had been waiting for
Finally got his number one
4
contender
months.
opportunity, and then it
Yep.
didn't pan out that well for him.
I know, but now you got this Saturday, 2 days, Halloween, PWA's 100th show.
With special guest Victoria.
Former WWE superstar Victoria will be in the house as well. Meet and greet, $40, 5:30 p.m. The meet and greet will begin. Get your tickets for the meet and greet starting about 5 p.m. Saturday at 1401 North 8th Street here in Springfield.
And the meet and
8th
greet
Street
does include your admission for the show. Just so
Meet and
people
greet
know.
does include admission for the show, so you don't have to pay that extra $15 to be able to get in. $40, you get the meet and greet with Victoria. That includes a photo op, a signed 8x10, and a Q&A session. Plus, you get to choose wherever you want to sit for Brawloween.
You'll be seated before the rest of the general admission.
Definitely. And then we've got the actual show where adults are $15, kids 6 to 12 are $10, kids 5 and under are always free. We're going to be seeing a lot of fun because doors open 6:30, show starts 7 p.m. as always. We're going to see Victoria take part in the women's match, a tag team women's match, as she teams with the self-proclaimed queen of PWA, Harley.
Who was our guest last week.
Definitely. Taking on Shauna Reed, who is Harley's long-ridden rival, and Savannah Stone, who's also a rival of Harley's. So could Harley have her hands full? Because, I mean, yeah, she has Victoria on her side.
Victoria backing her up, so.
But if Shauna and Savannah are good tag team partners, they'll know that they have to keep Harley in their own corner.
Right. Well, I mean, that's basic tag psychology there.
Definitely. But, I mean, we'll have to see what goes down there. Also, a Nightmare on 8th Street fight. This is no disqualifications, no countouts, no rope breaks, falls count anywhere. As Hatta, who was attacked by his opponent and his former tag team champion partner, Cardini, back at the Grand Wrestling Spectacle. Hatta released a statement on PWA's Facebook page. It was very confusing. Basically, he said it came from the head of the table at which tea is drank. And basically, Cardini will show up in Wonderland. Hatta will bring the Jabberwockies. It's confusing. Hatta's a confusing person. Is that the correct term to use?
I don't know. Maybe he's been puffing on a little too much with the caterpillar there.
I don't know. Maybe he's had a little too many pixie sticks, don't you think?
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's Cardini and Hatta. I know Cardini has a lot planned because he posted on Facebook just a couple of hours ago a picture of him at Walmart buying trash cans and steel chairs. and it's also like I kind of ran into him earlier today, and he grabbed a hold of me with his face paint and everything. Grabbed a hold of me, got right in my face.
So he actually goes shopping in the face paint.
So they let him in Walmart that way?
I guess so.
That's why
At least at that point he had not been kicked
shop
out.
Walmart.
He had not been kicked out at that point at least, but he grabbed a hold of me, got right in my face, and all he said was ladders. So I don't want to upset Cardini. So I'm gonna have
So you
the
should
crew
ladders work.
bring a couple of ladders to the show just to be safe in case Cardini wants them. I wouldn't be surprised if we see tables. Hell, even if we see thumbtacks.
Oh, man.
I mean, maybe we should have called this show Blood, Sweat, and Tears because that's about to be all that's in this match is blood, sweat, and tears. Left in the middle of that ring. We're going to probably have to take like 3 intermissions worth of time just to clean it up, as we always do. But anyway, then we've got the main event, the 31-man Brawltoberfest, which I've been told there's 1 man for each day of October.
Okay, well, that makes sense. As I was starting to wonder, why is it 31 and not 30? They usually kind of round off the number.
31 flavors.
And it's
The
the
Baskin
Baskin
Now, if
Robbins
only we
Ride.
could have gotten Baskin Robbins to...
The Baskin Robbins Rumble. There you go.
Yeah.
And anyway, so we're
Not
gonna have
sponsored.
Don't give that away for free.
then we're gonna have a lot of debuting faces in that match. A lot. Like guys like Larry Lemons and Sam Knight. We're gonna be seeing Dante Leone in
So
the
we're going
match.
to see a lot of debuts.
Definitely. We'll
in this
also
Rumble.
see a debut of somebody who graduated from Pinfall Academy before but was forced to move away before he could debut for PWA. He'll finally be making his debut in this match as well. But then we've also got a lot of well-known faces. Brian Ely, Derek Moss, Tom Arson, Guy Smith. Just so many guys that are going to be in this match. Jimmy Carrot, Chase Brooks, the Model Bishop. It's going to be packed full of new faces, regular faces, and maybe even a couple of surprises. So you'll want to show up this Saturday, October 13th, for PWA's 100th show, Brawloween, 1401 North 8th Street, Springfield, Illinois, the 8th Street Gym. It's going to be a lot of fun. Doors open 6:30. Show starts 7 p.m. Adults are $15. Kids 6 to 12 are $10. Kids 5 and under are always free. Meet and greet with former WWE superstar Victoria will begin at 5:30. At 5 o'clock, you can show up, buy your tickets for $40 for the meet and greet, including a Q&A, photo op, and an autographed 8x10 plus admission to the show. Sit wherever you like. It's going to be a lot of fun for Brawloween.
I can promise this. I will get my hands on Derek Moss again there.
And I'll stay out of the way.
You should.
That's
smart.
Well, hopefully he'll be staying out of the way while the match is going on.
Hopefully, because I mean,
It'd be interesting to see the ring announcer in the ring while the Rumble's going on.
If I don't see him in the Rumble, I'll see him somewhere.
And hey, wouldn't it be crazy to see? It's kind of fun for me to guess. Who do you think's going to be number one?
Well, yeah,
number one,
right there.
Tom Arson. I mean, didn't you?
I mean, that would make sense, but I don't know if
I drew number one
in 2014
and won.
But that was only a 20 man. It was for the regional
That's an
title.
That's not
guys.
my fault.
After Brian Ely had to vacate the title because he had open heart surgery.
Right.
But I'll give it to you. You did beat 19 other guys
That's right.
for that title. I mean, and then who did you last eliminate there?
That would be Derek Moss.
I kind of figured that. I figured it was Derek Moss was that last
Put
elimination.
a chip on his shoulder, didn't it?
Definitely. He wouldn't stop then until
Well,
he
he
won the title
eventually
in that
found his way to
ladder
the
match.
title, too.
Yeah, he did.
And
He
that
did.
ladder match, if I remember right.
But he
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
find
correct.
his way back. But then Tom Arson found his way to Derek Moss.
That's right. Because, like I said at the show, I haven't been right since that ladder match. Something about a ladder match will change you. And I haven't been right at all. And I figured it out, finally. It's him. So one of us has to be put down, or I'm not going to stop until he's out of my way. Or I get the closure that I'm looking for.
Yeah, because you did say you were going to beat the all holy hell out of Derek Moss every single month until you got a match.
That's right.
And so far, the only match you have is with 30 other guys.
Yeah, I haven't heard a word from Derek Moss or from PWA.
We'll have to see what happens, maybe what Derek Moss says, because it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. It's going to be crazy in that ring,
It always is.
of course. And I'd like to see who all's in it, because I've only been able to confirm like 18 names. 17 or 18. There's still 13 or 14 left that haven't been announced, and I can't wait to see who they
You
are.
never know. We're not going to have everybody announced.
Of course, because you
Yeah,
have to
We got to
have
have some
some
surprises.
surprises, you know.
I can tell you when you're preparing for it as a competitor, it doesn't matter what the other names are. I mean, if you come across a Guy Smith or a KC that sticks out to you, you know their pedigree, you know to keep an eye on them, the madman,
Definitely.
you know, you got to know where those guys are at if you're in the ring with them at the same time. Spencer Powers, all those guys. But other than that, you don't care who's out there with you. All you're looking for is persevering and staying in the ring. That's it.
And I mean, I would think a good idea in a match like this is just kind of go sit in the corner whether you're hurt or not.
Yeah, sure, if you can.
It's kind of like
You
a
can.
Royal Rumble that was on Raw recently.
Yeah.
That Conquistador just jumped out of the ring at the beginning of it, sat outside
Wow.
Took a little siesta.
the ring, waited for some other people to get eliminated before joining back in.
Pull with Jerry the King Lawler and go under the ring.
Yeah.
Uh, there could be a lot of strategies used in this match, definitely. I mean, it's always fun to kind of break it down into the specifics.
Right.
Because I'm just so fascinated with a match like this because, one, you never know what's going to happen. You never know how someone might save themselves from being eliminated. You never know.
That is always entertaining to see.
Yeah, especially with Kofi Kingston.
Well, he's
in
not
the
going to
Royal
be in this
Rumble.
Rumble.
Well, not in this Rumble, of course.
We could
But
only
I'm talking
hope,
about
right?
him in the Royal Rumble. I mean, if he shows up, cool, good for him. He's got to go through 30 other guys.
Let's head back to the Hall of Fame announcement here, which is the whole reason that Mr. Arson is here with us tonight.
Yeah, of course.
So, what was it that first got you interested in wrestling?
Like doing it or
Yes,
becoming a
and
fan?
doing it.
And doing it. Man, seeing independent wrestling. That's it. Like, met some guys on the internet from the Chicago area. There's a organization called LWF where CM Punk came from initially. Him and his, I think, friends, his brother, some of those guys, they all got together, bought a ring, and started wrestling. You know, a lot of them got formal training and everything like that, but I just caught on to them over the internet and I started following them, and I went up there, saw some shows, and I was like, I might move up here. But I didn't do that. I did something stupider, and I got me some buddies together and we bought a ring. And then we started almost 20 years ago, New Midwest Wrestling, or Midwest Wrestling Alliance at the time.
Which eventually evolved into
New Midwest
New Midwest Wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. But yeah, I mean, I got interested in doing it from watching independent wrestling. I mean, I'd always, as a kid, wanted to do it, you know, but it was never like a serious thing until I started seeing independent shows and seeing it up close and personal like that.
My question would be, who is your favorite opponent that you've ever faced?
Oh, well, probably the one I've faced the most and that I feel like I've had the best matches with would be Guy Smith. I always enjoyed wrestling Rip Mystic. I've always enjoyed wrestling Derek Moss, even though he beat me the last time I faced him. I always enjoyed wrestling Toga Steve Fisher. Had some good matches with him. I would say probably my favorite, my greatest opponent, my best opponent, the guy I think that we bring out the best in each other is Guy Smith.
He's definitely great. He is. He deserves every bit of the respect he gets.
Absolutely. He is great.
Kirk, you have any questions?
I got none.
Oh, man.
He's starstruck. I get it. It's cool, man.
Nah, just brand new, just kind of,
It's his first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your first day.
just kind of.
Don't worry about it.
Flow.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. So I'm going in with Michael Shard, correct?
Yes.
I always had good matches with him. I always enjoyed wrestling him also. Didn't wrestle him nearly as much as I have those other guys I mentioned.
Yeah, and all those other guys you mentioned are most definitely probably going to be future Hall of Famers themselves.
Oh,
I
yeah.
expect so. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Benz, I didn't have enough matches with him. I wish I'd had more matches with Benz. He kind of, the first time that I had to stop wrestling when I had back surgery, was when Ben's kind of started into it. And so that whole time he was running New Midwest Wrestling, basically. I was on the shelf, retired. And then when I came back, we got to wrestle a few times, and he was always a blast to wrestle also.
It's always funny how this business has so many retirements and then they just come back out of the blue.
Well, I'm not getting Saudi Prince money to come back.
Oh,
Nothing even close.
Oh no, but I understand it because even just as a ring announcer, it's hard to stay away from. It
It
really
is. It's the minute you go watch a show, and if you're hurt or whatever, which after that ladder match with Derek, I was wrecked. I mean, my elbow was wrecked, my knee was wrecked. That's back surgery is back surgery. It wasn't serious, but it was serious enough that I was like, I'm not going to mess around with it for a while. That stuff there was way worse, and because I didn't have surgery on my knee, I didn't have surgery on my elbow.
when did you have the back surgery?
2004.
2000.
No, I had it in 06. I retired in 04, and I was like, all right, it'll just, if I quit bumping so much, it'll get better. I had some spinal compression, and then I had a pilondial cyst. We'll get into the weeds with that, but it's just a cyst at your tailbone, and it's awful. It sucks. But so they had to remove that, and then I had to stay upright a bit and stuff like that. So that's all it was. Not a big deal, but big enough where I was like, I don't need to screw around with this.
Right.
And again, I tried to just let that take its own course. If I take it easy, I don't have to mess with this. My knee, I feel this every time I run. Still, So there's probably something in there. I probably could have surgery at some point in time, but I'm not going to do it yet. And my elbow, kind of the same thing, but I don't feel it when I run. I feel it when I do push-ups or something like that.
Now, who were the wrestlers that you followed on the national level growing up?
My favorites were always Savage and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was always a big fan of Bret Hart. I was always a little less warm on The Rock than most people were. I liked him, but because he was always against Stone Cold, I was like,
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, he's on the Mount Rushmore to me. It's him and Savage and Austin and, I guess Hogan, maybe. Just those guys that when I was a kid that I watched the most, that I liked the most were Jake Roberts, the Macho Man. And then when I got until, later, teenager and stuff, it was Stone Cold, still Macho. I hate saying this out loud. Chris Benoit, loved him. Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko.
Benoit was a great wrestler. It was just a shame what happened.
Oh yeah.
With me personally, my favorite WrestleMania moment of all time is the end of WrestleMania 20. Benoit and Guerrero in the middle of the ring as champions.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was definitely awesome.
Yeah, two guys that you didn't think would ever.
Not in that company.
Not in that.
Right.
And not in WCW where they came from, for sure.
Right. And when they made the transition, you'd think they wouldn't just because they were
right.
WCW
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah. Those are the guys that. Still, watching recently, Michaels. Bring back Michaels. I'm down. I want to watch him wrestle AJ. I want to watch him wrestle Daniel Bryan. I want to see him
I
wrestle.
think they're teasing something about DX against Brothers of Destruction coming here soon.
We're teasing it. It's been announced.
Yeah, it was announced Monday night.
That's the Saudi Prince money that they're talking about. That's how they got all four of those guys to do it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've always been into. I was always big into tag team wrestling, Demolition, the Heart Foundation, later the New Age Outlaws. You know, kind of lost APA.
Well, so you actually had a chance to work with Billy Gunn.
Yes, yeah. Billy Gunn, I was in a 6-man and got beat by his finish. Wrestled Rikishi in a 6-man. Same result. Got beat by his finish. Got the face full of butt. Chris Masters, wrestled him. Yeah. All that stuff was after that first retirement. I came back in like 2009 and wrestled up until that was 15, right? With that ladder match, that's where, and then I've been back sporadically since then.
Right.
Yeah, that match really took its toll.
I can imagine.
Yep.
You have anything else, Rob? Or?
Not really. I mean,
A little uneasy there, Rob.
oh, well,
You're like sitting on the edge of this couch, man.
you should understand why. This is that laugh doesn't help either.
Well, if I start beating on Eric, you're not gonna intervene, right?
No, I'm not.
All
Get
right.
out the
All
door.
right, well,
Thanks.
then you're good, man. You're good.
Okay.
Oh man.
I won't do that.
Let's say personally, I've always been a more behind the scenes guy. I've always enjoyed the talent that's in the ring, but I'm not one to be in front of people all the time, especially out in public. So that's why I've always kind of reserved myself to the back.
Same with me. I like to be seen and not heard.
No, not wrestlers. They got to be seen and heard. We're all hams. All of us.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm usually sitting behind my series of control panels.
That's right.
and everything.
It's like you're in a spaceship. You got so much stuff in front of you. But you guys are what make the shows look good, sound good.
Yeah.
But no, when you say you want to put Moss down, what does that necessarily mean? Just put him on the shelf for a while?
I don't know. Honestly, I need to exercise those demons. If I get into the match with him, I know for a fact right now that I can go with Moss and I can take Moss. I've had enough time. I've stewed enough about it. You know, I've gotten older, but I don't think I've lost that much. And I'm sure I can take it. And that whole year, he had my number. And it's just never worn off of me. So I need to get my hands on him. And if it comes to it and I'm not ready to put him down, pin him, then I'll keep at him. And we'll see what happens.
That's about all you can do.
And what are your thoughts on some of the newer talent that's been coming to PWA lately?
Of what I've seen, which was mostly just the last show, One Shall Fall, was mostly just that show. The talent looks good. You know, a lot of them have had good training, and they're gonna be, once they keep they're gonna keep working their way up, and once they keep getting reps, they'll get better and better and better, more comfortable, more confident, and better in the ring, and better at knowing when you can win a match and everything like that.
Definitely, because I mean, all three of the last graduates from Pinfall Academy, they're really impressive.
I agree.
They are, and hard, at least for a lot of people, to pick a favorite. But I feel like I've made it well known on this show who my favorite is.
Well, you're wearing a shirt that kind of broadcasts that.
Oh boy.
Definitely. Handsome Dan Liplock.
Hey, you can't go
He's
wrong.
great.
He sports the mustache, right?
He's got the mustache.
Cannot
he's got
go
the
wrong
leather
with the
jacket,
mustache. Can't.
the classic '60s greaser look, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, IJ Sweet and Johnny Kincaid, they're also really good.
Yeah, I agree. I had an opportunity to work a little bit with those two. That way, out east. And I enjoyed the match with them. I thought they did a good job, and I thought that they listened well and all that, and they were able to, help me knock some rust off and everything, and kind of a conditioning match for me. But those guys were good.
But they are. I mean, from what I've seen in the ring, they've definitely improved
Mm-hmm.
since they made their debut earlier this year. And the same with Dan Liplock. I mean, they're gonna go places. I can tell.
They will, yeah. I agree, and I think that all three of them will just, being around veterans and the just amalgamation of talent that PWA has in its locker room, you're a sponge. You just soak things up, and the guys that can do that the best are the guys who improve the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Kincaid and IJ Sweet, they've definitely been noticed by PWA. They've already had 2 or 3 tag team title matches
Mm-hmm.
against Attitude Inc.
Speaking of which, their number one contenders, the Hooligans.
The Hooligans.
Is that match happening at Brawling? Or
No,
no.
that match will not be happening in Brawling. Pretty sure that's happening in Art of War.
Art of War.
We'll have
Okay.
to wait and find
I
out.
couldn't remember exactly when that match was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Art of War. But I do know at least Guy Smith's going to be there Saturday because he's in the match. The list of entrants I was given does not include Spencer Powers.
Well, Spencer's had a lot of side projects going on lately.
Oh, definitely. He's
he's
got
a
lot
busy guy outside the ring.
He's got a lot on his plate, definitely.
For sure.
But, we've got Brian Ely making his return to the 8th Street Gym in Halloween. We've got Tom Arson and his return to action at the 8th Street Gym. Your last match at the 8th Street Gym was what? February.
Yeah, January, February, one of the two.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of great guys in there.
I also saw the model Bishop.
Model Bishop, I believe Blake Reed's going to be in there as well. We've also got the debut of the Unholy Father, Richard Faith, is going to be in there. We've got a lot of great guys that are going to be in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see how, because it's even more fun to see one-on-one matches maybe that you have wished to see but haven't happened yet. Like Derek Moss and insert name here. I can't think of a name right off the top of my head that he hasn't faced. But going head to head, even if it's just for a minute and a half in the Battle Royal, it's still great to see that kind of stuff.
Who knows? Maybe we might even see Mr. Arson get a hold of Moss in the Halloween.
Oh, definitely.
If our paths cross, I will. Guaranteed.
And I'm sure.
Well, hopefully for you, he's not in there early and gets eliminated for you get in there.
I agree.
I wouldn't see that happening because, I mean,
You
Derek
never know
Moss
what
has been
can
able
happen
to last a
in these.
while, but you never know what can happen. That's right. I mean, you've got Madman in there. Moss has never gone one-on-one with Madman. Moss doesn't know what to expect with Madman. I mean, Moss is going to fight him, but will Moss be able to overcome Madman?
Yeah, I think that's more of the question there.
And I mean, it's cool to see because you've got so many regular tag teams as well, and even ones that maybe aren't so regular but are still included, like Johnny Kincaid and IJ Sweet. They're both in the match, but it's every man for himself. Well, IJ Sweet and Johnny Kincaid go at it. could Brian Ely and his partner from the Toga tournament, Victor Analog, or like I said before, Derek Moss and Madman. You never know what could happen.
True. Just check and see how much time we got. We got about 4 minutes left in our normal broadcast time, so pretty much the floor is yours, Mr. Armstrong.
Mine?
Yes.
So, how long have you guys been doing this?
The show in
Yeah,
general
the
has
show.
been going on for what, 2-3 years now?
I believe 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, so Ben's more the historian. He's not here tonight.
In studio, I think it's been almost 2 years.
Yeah, it started off as a
It started off as a
and then
podcast.
it evolved into the video streaming format that you see now. Originally on 217 Radio, broadcasting through Facebook, but when 217 relocated to Lincoln, we kind of set up an auxiliary studio here, and we've been broadcasting to YouTube ever since.
Gotcha.
So it's still been a little bit of a transition, getting all the followers that followed on Facebook to come over to YouTube. But other than that,
I believe from the inception of the podcast, I think it's been about 3 years. Because I remember being one of the first guests on one of the first shows of the Sleeper Hold. That's when I was only about 3 months into my time in PWA, 3 months into my time in the business alone.
yeah.
Here's the important question. Robbie, who's your favorite guest?
My favorite guest that we've had on the Sleeper Hold.
Yeah.
Let's see. That would have to be Guy Smith.
Well, I've only been with the show shortly myself, and
Sitting right here, Robbie.
There's still a little making up to do from
Oh, okay.
the events from last month.
I'm glad I'm on this side.
I've only been part of the show for the last few months, and as for in studio guests, I mean, so far I've only had the pleasure of being in studio with you and Harley. Other than like times when I actually appeared as part of a panel of guests or something myself. So,
I mean, yeah, there was that one time we had former President Archie and Brian Ely both on the same show.
Yeah, I was
that got
there with both of
interesting.
oh, that show turned into a whole bit of controversy.
That's when I was still President Archie's
Oh,
#1 butt kisser.
yeah.
Brian
Where did that
Ely.
get you?
Well, look at me now. I broke away from President Archie, started ring announcing, and now here I am.
Yeah.
Well, this is awesome what you guys do. No joke. It's great promoting. Like I said, this is independent wrestling is what got me to do independent wrestling. It wasn't necessarily WWE. I mean, although that's there, but just seeing it in front of you, that's what got me into it. And what you guys do is you push independent wrestling in your area, and without it, independent wrestling would have a tough time surviving, I believe. On this level, this is I mean, sometimes you don't hear that many people watched, or you don't see it, you don't get that instant feedback and everything, and you're like, man, why did I spend my time doing that? It's important, and people pay attention to this, and you get the names out there and everything like that. It matters for the wrestlers, matters for the promotion. You know, this kind of stuff keeps a head of steam behind that stuff, and it is important, even when it feels like it's a grind or whatever. This is awesome. Thank you guys for doing this.
Well, thank you for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you for joining us.
Absolutely.
And I think that's about all the time we have for tonight. Any last minute stuff you want to throw in there, Rob?
Don't forget Saturday's Brawloween 1401 North 8th Street, 1401 North 8th Street, Springfield, Illinois. 5:30 is the meet and greet with former WWE star Victoria. $40. Start at 5 o'clock. We'll be selling tickets at the door. Meet and greet starts at 5:30. Doors open to the actual show at 6:30. Show starts 7 p.m. Adults $15. Kids 6 to 12, $10. Kids 5 and under are always free. It's going to be a lot of fun for PWA's Brawloween. For the Couganator, for Eric, and even for the newest PWA Hall of Famer.
Is this your note?
No, it's not my
No
milk.
split.
I'm good. Thank you.
#1, Tommy Arson. I've been the analyst, Robert Leach, and this has been the Sleeper Hold, where you can find us here next week on our YouTube channel at 8 o'clock p.m., around that time at least, where there will be no disqualifications on the topics and falls count anywhere. For all of our guests tonight,
Don't
my
forget to click
co-host.
subscribe.
Don't forget
And
to
the
click
little bell for the
surprise and the
notifications.
little bell on the side to notify you whenever we go live or upload a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, please click like on this video as well. We'll see you next week on the Sleeper Hold.